Giuseppe's podcast. I'm Giuseppe, and this is my podcast. Basically, I just trick people into talking to me, especially my friends. I trick them into talking to me around 3 a.m. because I want to talk to people.
Because
today's
people never sleep.
today's guest is Maria Maria Media here. Yeah, that's her.
Here. I'm here. Here I
Yeah.
am. Hi.
Anyway, glad to have you on the show. But before we get started, guys, shout out to the sponsor. And today's sponsor is Queer Shades of Yellow. Go search that on YouTube. It's a uh, something which involves talking and explaining on gay queer media.
I ever told you how much I love the seamless way that you talk.
Yes. Like what do you mean seamless? Uh like enforce things into to fit.
You're just very excited and it makes me excited too.
Oh man, that's cool. Yeah. Yeah, I'm always excited. That's not what
That's
I'm always excited, especially when it comes to talking to people. Like I don't know ngayon. I mean, it's hard fucking, you know, hang out with people. So,
I guess.
being able to talk to someone's like, ah, yeah, I finally get to talk to someone.
I got one.
Yeah, yeah, that's
You
basic.
took the bait. They've got nowhere else to go.
Yeah, yeah, that's basically my reaction with this podcast. Actually, yung ano nga, I remember when I messaged
You
you for the podcast. Like
uh-huh.
I would try to play it's like so hard wherein I'm like, are you
What do you
free?
mean?
Like I would
Okay.
I would
It's
try to
like,
bait
hey,
yeah, I have to bait people into like starting a conversation with me Muna chat and be like, you wanna be on my podcast? And that's when like they finally felt the need to be like, hell yeah. But
meanwhile, ako naman, I was like, I wonder when he's gonna ask me. I feel like he should have already asked me by now, but he hasn't. It's like, huh, maybe he doesn't like me. That's fine.
uh,
And I'm holding back tears. It's like, oh, it's fine.
I'm not worthy.
And then the next time that we do see each other, it's like, hey, heard you had a nice podcast. Did you like it? Like, wow, you have so many people that you invite, huh? Where'd you find all those people? Oh, maybe you ran out of some. Well, maybe you needed, someone else, but
yeah,
maybe you should have asked someone.
actually, I kind of like I feel like I am running low. Not to say like you were like one of the later parts. I didn't know na you kasi ano eh, I'm studying so much. The most of the guests
Ouch.
that I got are people who commented when I made the post that they wanted to
Okay.
be in it. So I always have to like
Okay.
remind myself, okay, this person seems interested. I gotta message them,
Tama
make
naman, no?
make deets, and then I would when that list of like people who commented run out, I'm like, okay, who are the people that I feel like are cool enough to talk to me during 3 a.m. And then that's when I messaged you. I was like, Maria Media is kind of cool. She
Who
liked the
are the people that are awake right now?
yeah, yeah. I mean, there's that one time I caught you awake around this time. I tried bothering you, but you were working at the time.
Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I know. I remember that it was during your streaming, but I was working at my part time. I had stuff to finish. Ah, di bale. Nowadays I
Yeah.
just do nowadays I just do everything ahead. That's the
Wow.
beauty, isn't it? No, my part time job. Oh, am I allowed to talk about my part time job? Ooh, my
Uh,
corporate.
I mean, it's up to you. There's a guy who apparently had an NDA, and it's
Oh,
good
okay.
thing that he never mentioned the name of the said company, but he had an
Oh,
NDA, and I had to review the footage before uploading
oh,
it, and also
baby's
yeah.
baby's first legal dispute.
Yeah, but yeah,
That's how
there's
you know you've made it.
yeah, the lawyers been knocking on my door.
It's like, you know what? It's finally time. I've always wanted to be in this position where I had to dispute legal claims. I
Yeah.
work at LinkedIn. That's where my part time is.
Wow. Do you
Yeah.
get plenty of LinkedIn jokes?
What kind of LinkedIn jokes would you get?
I mean, like, hey, I've never gotten a corporate job. I can never. I feel like that would be like a corporate job thing wherein like, hey, send me your LinkedIn profile. Yung mga ganon. Alam ko ganon yung jokes, di ba?
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. Technically, I'm the one who has. I don't review people's LinkedIn profiles. I just make graphics for the people who are the ones who are using LinkedIn profiles. That makes sense.
Okay.
Uh, so TBH, it's just like, oh, I'm working at LinkedIn's. I need to know like uh what kind of things do people look for in LinkedIn? And I'm like, listen, I read the articles because I have to uh make the graphics for them.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I actually absorb anything that they're saying. Honestly, I don't think I could do a corporate job either. Not really.
Yeah.
Not if I really think about it.
Me,
Uh,
but but
it's not in
but
my.
have you ever? Di ba student ka pala?
I already graduated.
Ah, okay,
I
okay.
graduated this year.
Ooh, congrats. Uh,
Congrats.
but this is your first job?
No, no, no. I've had this job for a while. This is just like my side hustle. My main
Oh.
hustle naman talaga kasi was my commissions. Actually, no. Because actually, to be honest, my commissions are only like bearing fruit nowadays. But before, I just did it super infrequently. So, anyways, the way that it worked is that my main uh am I allowed to sit to talk about this?
No,
Before,
no,
kasi I
you
used
can
to
just.
not I'm debating on the on what I'm about to say.
Sure, sure, sure,
Uh,
sure.
before when I was still in school, maybe I shouldn't talk about. I
You're the
let's
best
say
guest ever, man.
I would give advice. Okay, okay, I'll just like wink. Okay, I gave advice to
Okay.
people on their academic papers.
Ah.
So I gave advice to people on their academic papers, wink wink, for money. That was my not really was super hurting for cash. To be honest, I was just like one of those type A freaks. Nah, I always submitted my papers early, and then I was bored. So someone was like,
Girl.
"Oh, I." So I was like, "I don't have." Someone's gonna be like, "Oh, I haven't started my paper yet." It's like, "Oh, let me give you some advice for
Nice.
it." In exchange for goods and services because it was a two-way street, right? Because I was bored and I wanted like there's so many things you can talk about in the world, and so like I might as well like do like a second analysis paper. So
I actually kind of did the same in college.
yeah,
Yeah, but mine's
yeah.
just more uh extreme, I guess.
Oh, oh, how
Cuz
so?
I used to I was like the only person who knew how to Photoshop. And
Ah,
uh
how, when was this, in what
uh
year?
20 that's I think it's I graduated 2015 eh. So mga 2013, 2014.
I see.
I was like really bored. I'm a smart student, yeah.
Yes,
Said it.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I'm
Excuse me.
because I wear glasses. I'm smart. But
Sure.
I was bored most of the time, and uh there's a part of me that wanted to like see if I could, and I did, and I was able to replicate the like a class card. You know, like it's how my school gives out their grades.
Ah,
It's a piece
gets.
of paper, and
Uh-huh.
you know most students are like I don't want my mom and dad to find out I failed this class,
Oh,
so
okay.
they'd be like, I heard this dude B can
But
solve that problem. Yeah,
what if they have,
they still failed.
yeah, but wouldn't the parents have found out eventually
Nah,
that they didn't actually what? But then you can see it reflected like on your grades. Like why didn't you pass,
I feel
son?
like it's either most of their parents are overseas so they can physically check, and you know everything's like either, or you know like the parents trust them and like just say, oh, you need this much money, sige, ito.
Oh, that was their first mistake.
Yeah,
Shall we then discuss the ethical dilemma of cheating in academics? I feel like that's a very irresponsible way to start this podcast, but I feel like we might as well
sure.
talk about it since we're here.
What
Have
type?
you ever? Oh, go
Okay, no,
ahead.
no. I was gonna ask like what type of cheating, but
Oh, academic cheating.
no, yeah, no, like yeah. Go with your question.
Okay. Have you ever cheated on a test before?
uh, the answer is, especially during college.
Oh,
Yes.
really? Oh, I only cheated during high school,
Uh,
never during college.
really? Well,
I re- I
yeah.
respect my university way too much to ever cheat.
I
In fact,
didn't.
I was probably the person that other people cheated like on. Like they would just look at what my answer was, look at the side eye, and I let them. I think I think I think that when people cheat on tests, it comes from a place of desperation.
Yeah.
Especially if they're the kind of, especially if it's a core subject, like you're trying to study, let's say engineering, and then you're at a philosophy class. I believe that it's important to learn philosophy and philosophic principles, but I don't think that the standardized testing is really the way to measure how much you learn. So in which case, I'll totally help somebody cheat. I just think that it's fair.
So
I just think that
basically, you're saying is, since that it's not that person's major, you're willing to help them out.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. But I feel that once it's your subject, like the subjects that you choose, you have the responsibility to give a
Yeah.
shit because you
Yeah.
chose it.
And
Unless you didn't choose it. Unless
and
it's like your parents told you to.
and also
You
it's
know what
like
I mean?
it's what you'll be practicing hopefully
For the rest of your life.
after
Hopefully.
yeah, like
Yeah.
kailangan mo
So
seryosohin
like
like
yeah, so if not now, when?
yeah.
If not now, when?
uh
That's the way.
but yung sa part ko, my college experience naman was like mostly, I was kind of like a know-it-all na. And I
Oh.
was basically the reason my college is, I chose like a shit college.
Where'd you come
I'm not,
from?
I'm not, I'm not gonna name drop them
Oh
after like the
really?
whole. I'm gonna trash talk them, so I'm not gonna name drop
Ah, okay.
it.
Someone's gonna find out. Someone's gonna tell me.
I've never, what do you call this? Like when I graduated high school, I wanted to become an artist. Na. That was like my calling. And then I was
I
like,
see.
fuck, but I have to go to college and I can't go to any art school kasi hindi kaya ng magulang, and like, they wanted me to be an engineer.
I
Uh,
see.
so I went with like the dumbest thing, which is I will go to a nearby school, uh, and get the course that I want in like a medyo okay, like standard of school. Like
Uh-huh.
it's not the best, it's not the worst, basically.
I see.
Uh, when when I got there, everything was so easy, and
Oh,
yeah, it was so easy because it's like
is it like a vocational school?
it's a college, so there's
No,
a
no. I mean like,
I
is
no
it
no
like
no. There's
a
like the
4 year course or parang
yes, it's
pabilisan?
a 4 year course,
I see.
and it's one of those schools wherein everybody's lazy.
I
It's,
see.
alam mo yung ano community, yung show Community.
Yes.
It's basically like that.
Oh, I see.
So we're kind of like a community college. That's like how I see it.
Okay.
And
But you had fun. It sounds like it
yeah,
would be fun if that was the
no,
case.
it's not community series fun, but you know,
No, no, no. Oh, okay. But
it,
like, there's some joy in being sobrang I don't know the term, very lackadaisical.
yeah, yeah.
I,
There's a lot of
I,
partying. Yeah, there's that. uh, yung sa exams naman, I feel like there was a yeah, I did really, like with the way I look, I kind of can pass off like I studied. So
I
I
see.
I always abuse that towards professors. Like they
Okay.
think that I'm smart. So all I have to do,
Uh-huh.
like ako may código, like
Oh,
I also write very small, so it's always on my palm,
uh-huh.
and then I could easily just like glance. People say I'm like basically studying because puro keywords lang siya nandiyan.
I mean, I agree actually, because okay, here's the thing. Sometimes people find really new and creative ways to cheat on tests, and I feel that that's
Part of
so
their
cool and
learning.
yeah, it's so cool and interesting that I feel like you deserve to get away with it, right? It's very like Alcatraz situation na because your plan was so ingenious and well executed, you've earned your right to pass.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Basically, it was that's how I did my test. Actually, if I could, I would cheat. That's basically because I didn't like giving so much energy. Also, either mostly tired from like trying to be an artist or like staying up all night.
Yeah, all the all night stuff.
Yeah, kaya
Uh,
I didn't want to
all
give effort.
yeah. Have I ever met an artist that wasn't a night owl? It feels improbable. You know what? I actually did read somewhere that being a night owl and stuff like that is hereditary. It's the craziest thing. It was in this book about sleep. Uh, so the whole shtick was that uh when we were still in like tribes and stuff like that, we had like this idea that different different kinds of people with different sleeping schedules helped the community survive best, because then there would be people who were asleep when people were awake, and then awake when some people were asleep. So there was always going to be someone who was able to look out for predators. So because of that, we as the society evolved to have different individuals who had different sleeping schedules, which turned out that it's kind of hereditary, because there are people that if your parents are night owls, you will also most likely become a night owl. And it's really important because it's a genetic thing on what body clock you align with, what your arcadian rhythm is or whatever. Some people are at like this huge disadvantage, because if you are a kid and you're born with a night owl body clock, then the whole 8 to 5 regular work days and school days don't work for you. You'll always be sleeping in class and you'll never flourish, which is like the most disappointing part. It's like uh, a societal handicap that's given to people who just do better when they're asleep. But then on the other hand, you can't actually make schools and businesses that are night oriented when you're so young, because then you have this safety aspect. And if you're not from a safe community, then like it's totally
Ah, yeah,
totaled.
yeah,
But
yeah.
but I also think that if they had like a high school classes that were available at like 7 p.m. to 11 p.m., oh, absolutely. I would
Ah,
love
yeah. You
that.
mean like night schools type?
Yeah, but
Uh,
like night school for like high school students, because night schools are only really
ah,
important
okay.
or really offered for people who are in college.
Alam ko
Wait, hold on. I just
most.
need to charge. I just need to charge. Hold on.
Sige,
Hold on.
I'll
Say
make my
something funny.
point. I'll make my point while you gone. From what I know, most public schools have night schools. The public school here near me have night schools. Yeah, I feel like that's true. I'm not sure. Anyway, cheating in class is the best thing I've done because I was very good at it. Uh, yeah, you fake it, and then they'll be like, "Oh my God, this my guy gets high grades. Giuseppe has high grades. Uh, he. I believe that's true because he's wearing glasses. I believe him. Believe him." Actually, there's a part. I want to make tell this story. We're in. There's this math exam, and then okay, there. Not yet. Okay. I'm at. She's gonna set up. I want to tell. I want to tell this math story real
Okay.
quick.
All right. So,
Because I was like trying to fill in, something about cheating pa rin. Pero yeah, there on my math subject, it was algebra lang, which I already knew. Like college algebra is fucking easy, and
okay, that hurts because I had to repeat it like 2 times. All right. Okay,
me,
sure.
me with
Go
the
and brag
flex.
about your. Ooh, would you do subtle flex? Okay,
Okay,
go.
so college algebra, and that was like placed
It's
at
easy.
yeah, I was placed in like this area of the uh class wherein I was beside like a different course kasi ano mixed courses kami in that math class. Alam ko
I
kasama I
see.
had like rad tech students like radiation technology. Yeah, different class basically. They're my seatmates like uh we were a row of them and then there's me and then one of them is like very smart in math so like
Mm.
what he does is like he would supply the answers to the rest of his group They were like a group of five, so like that one person gets all like writes down like solves every all the stuff immediately, then gives all the answers to his friends. And since katabi ko lang yung group na yan, they involved
You might as
me.
well, right?
Yeah, and me naman, I'm not gonna deny that. I'm like, this class is easy as it is. I'm gonna make it easier. So, cheating, yeah. And then it came to the point na I think near the finals, the professor noticed it and then was
Oh,
like, huh, you guys keep, making high scores together. How about if I separate you all? And then they did. And then the other four friends of that guy, uh, they all failed. Kasi nawala na yung cheating, yung nagsusupply ng
oh,
cheats eh. Well, ako naman, I was like one of the high students at the class, and it's because like
uh-huh.
I was like I was just
You were fine
cheating.
without it.
Yeah, I was fine without cheating. I was like I just wanted to cheat because it was much easier. But if I were like told to like solve things, I'd be like, hell yeah, I can do this. Yeah,
I mean, like dishonesty really is a like if it's easy, I feel like people would really do it. That's the thing,
like the
and
cheating
that's
part.
yeah, academic dishonesty. I feel like hi, I relate academic dishonesty to lying to your parents. Okay,
Ah,
because
okay, yeah,
sometimes the consequences are worse than the whole honor thing. The you lied because that is cheating is a form of lying, right? And you're pretending like you know this information, but you don't. But at the same time, I also think back to like all the times I've lied to my parents about like where are you? Saying, well, I swear I'm not out with like friends or whatever. And I'm like, they wouldn't allow you anyway. So they say it's easier to ask for forgiveness than it is to ask for permission.
true,
And that's
true.
so in which respects I feel like I might as well do what I feel is best in the moment. Cheating is a lack of foresight, but I think it's also like a system problem because again, uh standardized testing is not the end all be all of academic intelligence, but that is the way people see it. So if you're really like pressed for your future, if you don't get high grades, it is a handicap. Like you're
Yeah,
not gonna survive long. In which case, I feel like okay, people can cheat because I think that the way that we measure intelligence isn't correct to begin with.
yeah. It's for me, and I've never been to any good schools, or I've been to like
A harsh thing to say, well, right?
no, I've been to like private schools, pero not those type of schools wherein academics matter, or like you have to be forced. Well, I kind of did, but you have to be forced to like get smart or something, or like
I
they
see.
teach you holistically. Because I found out like as a graduate or as like this artist type, especially pag may mga schools na nag-i-invite sa akin to like go to their school and
Ooh.
shit like that. To sell ha, not to like do a talk or something. But like,
Oh, okay. I was like, wow, he's moving up
nah,
in the world.
nah,
He's got a student and everything.
nah. They just like say they have like an art market. They invite me. Pero yeah,
Okay.
whenever like I visit schools,
I'd invite you to talk at my school.
thank you.
But I also don't feel like you would really. Are you good with kids?
Uh, I'm like okay, I guess.
All right.
Yeah, I don't say the best things basically. I stutter a lot, so it's like they'll be like, "What's wrong with that
Oh,
guy?"
yeah, because little kids are like the worst bitches in the world,
Yeah,
and I
they
can say
kind
that because I
they
was a kid once.
they kind of bully me, man. They're the
Yeah.
worst. Anyway, whenever I would visit like weird schools, I would find out like uh the way like the teaching there is like so different from like the way I was used to. I mean, there was
Okay.
like this one school where I joined a friend, and then yung goal was parang career talk type.
Okay.
And then when we went there, we found out that like the students had no books. I don't know, they had books, but like you don't need to buy books or something like that. Walang uniform. What else? Like their approach to teaching was so different than like
I
the
see.
kailangan bilhin mo yung books na to and you have to keep reading it every day and you have to do this test every day. Like like the mini like the systematic part. That's
I see.
like they were like saying a holistic approach, and
A
then
non-traditional
oh,
school.
you then yeah, non-traditional. It was a non-traditional school, and then uh they were like saying how many of their alumni like got into UP and shit like that, and I'm like,
Yeah,
what?
understandable.
Yeah, and then basically they have like that type of mindset nga dahil they do different, they have a different way of teaching. They're able to do things more effectively compared to like me, where I did like the traditional setting, and even that was like dumb shit as fuck.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, kaya I never really, and that's one, well, that's one reason why I never enjoyed school in general. Like,
Yeah. I
like
only enjoyed school in college, real shit.
because of the people.
Mm, because of the environment. Although I did technically have fun, technically. I did technically have fun in high school, but I was also in the midst of a lot of like relationship problems.
Nice.
So not nice, man, not
I know.
nice.
I know. It's experience. It's still nice.
I suppose if you put it that way. But
Yeah.
yeah. So I met a lot of great people in high school, but I also wasn't able to actually cherish them because I would just like I was just wondering so badly if that was gonna pay attention to me.
So
How come you didn't give me a rose for Valentine's Day? Oh, I
girl,
need.
I'm like
She had a new haircut. It looks better than mine.
I feel the same during high school. I feel like high school I was like the most, it's either I was, because it was my peak weeb days. Basically every and harem anime
Rosario
guy.
Vampire. Hell yeah.
Yeah, basically I was trying to be like this like mysterious anime guy. I was basically that character type.
Okay.
And it was like
Okay.
annoying kasi just thinking back, I'm like, oh my god, why did I have to pretend to be like this mysterious guy all the time? Like fuck that, man. Should have like
What do
spread
you mean
my
by
feeling.
mysterious?
Like yung who's a good character? Uh shit. I'm basically Sasuke.
Okay.
I mean like I could have been Naruto, but I chose to
But
be
you chose to
Sasuke.
be Sasuke. I
Yeah.
see.
I hope that makes sense. Pero parang ganon na instead of like having fun with people, I did
Uh,
have fun with people, pero most of it is like me trying to be like this, pretending to be I'm like too cool for them type. You know, like
get
Sasuke, basically Sasuke.
get.
I'm gonna talk shit about Sasuke all day. Ah,
Honestly,
damn.
I've never really watched Naruto.
God damn it.
Yeah,
Why?
I feel I was too late in the game. And I'm also older, by the way. I'm old. By the time that I had like internet and things like that, it was already like way too late. I'm like, oh well.
I was also late with anime. The best
But
like
then you chose to watch Naruto. Naruto's like
yeah
5,000 episodes long.
yeah yeah.
You could have been watching.
I
You could
binged
have.
like I had to binge the whole childhood, their whole childhood. Then I had to binge their whole Shippuden. You know, that's like dedication. I also did that with Bleach. Never
Oh,
wa-
I never watched Bleach either.
Yeah, they're like the 500 episode type, and I'm like,
Oh,
I could never do that with One Piece now. Like I'm like too old for
oh
that.
yeah,
Like, I
yeah,
can't.
me too. And same thing with Dragon Ball. I'm sorry, I know
Yeah,
Dragon
yeah,
Ball is very paramount to anime, but I got things to do.
yeah. I think I started anime when I was in high school, and I was like, for me it was I was considered late because everybody was like talking about how they grew up watching anime, and like
Yeah, I grew up watching
and
anime,
then
technically speaking.
and when I was watching anime, like, especially Naruto, like during high school, I got
Yeah.
flashbacks on understanding on what the fuck we were doing when I was a kid in grade school. Like, oh, everybody was like running around, like trying to stab people at the heart. I'm like, oh my god, this is what they were doing. It was an anime thing. I thought they were like, this is the new fun, guys. Black 123, nah, let's stab each other to the heart.
One was just trying to do the Naruto run.
Yeah. Like me running like with the arms, like thinking it was actually gonna make me faster. Like, nah, man, it's from the anime.
I feel faster, and that's what's important.
Yeah. But yeah, like, may mga ganun na ba. I was kind of late na nga with anime na
I
rin.
see.
Pero it was also, since it was high school, it was like the worst anime. My weeb days, yeah.
I wonder if censorship. It's a matter of censorship, right? Because way in those days we were much looser with things that we could watch or that we could show to kids. 'Cause nowadays I feel like everyone's uptight, but I don't. I do wonder if being uptight is kind of okay in these respects. 'Cause I remember very vividly. I grew up watching Full Metal Alchemist and Hell Girl and Death Note, and I had like this super cynical view on life.
Yeah.
Eh, so I was like season one Gaara, and then as I grew up, I became Gaara with the flower pot. That's the only I know the meme. I still never watched
Yeah.
Naruto,
It
but I
makes
know the
sense.
meme.
Yeah.
That's how it was because I was so edgy when I was growing up. But then I realized as I look older, I was like, wait a minute, I like cute things. I like
Yeah.
cute stuff and I can enjoy cute stuff. But that being said, Fullmetal Alchemist, Death Note, still absolute bangers. I rewatched everything during quarantine. I don't feel the same way
And
about Hellgirl anymore. I watched Hellgirl recently. It's not as interesting as I remember it to be.
there's I tried I binged full Brotherhood during
Brotherhood,
the
yes.
quarantine. It
Yeah.
made me. I feel like yeah, the first episode I cried, but
Why?
from the opening
Oh,
because
okay. Wait, but that's not even the best opening. The best opening is the one in the last season.
yeah, but that was the opening we're in. I remembered everything.
I get.
I remembered like oh man, I remember because I think the Brotherhood was like I was in college already at the time or something.
2005 or no,
No. The
2006.
Brotherhood, not the original.
Yeah, 2006. Tama ba? 2006 because
That
the
was
original.
the original was like 2006, I think.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah,
I don't know.
or I don't know. But Brotherhood was like around 2011 siguro or so. I'm not. I feel like I
Oh.
don't want to. Let's not Google it. But during the time I was watching Brotherhood, I was like, I was. It was the time that I had to watch it weekly. You
Yeah,
know.
I know exactly. Okay, no, let me just tell you, by the way, that I have unintentionally uh, uh cursed my father into becoming a weeb because nowadays, no, yeah, because he's like super into it now, and then, like he was
Nice.
into it. He sometimes he would just like sit there while I was watching something, but nowadays he's just like actively like, hey, what's the next thing that we're gonna watch? We just finished Avatar as a family. It took so long
Nice.
because it takes so long because you have to work around schedules. You know what I mean? Because I'm
Yeah,
like ready.
especially
I'm
as a family. Yeah, that's hard.
yeah, right. But like we finally watched it. My mom actually wants to watch it again, even though we just finished it. It took us 2 months, but I'm like, please. So, anyways, we were watching Full Metal Alchemist, and my dad wasn't super because I tried to get him into it last year around the summer, but then the beginning, see, the beginning parts of Brotherhood isn't as good as the original. I feel like the original one did a better job of like setting up the scene better than the original. So I always say start with the original until, spoiler alert, Nina dies, and then you transfer to Brotherhood because I feel that whatever the fuck was happening
Yeah. That made
original
sense.
towards the end was just super
They
like,
stretched it out. They stretched it out
yeah.
during the original, and then
They
at
stretched it
the
out. It turned into a weird place. Winry wasn't as important as she was supposed to be.
yeah.
Ling wasn't there, so there was no point watching it because Ling was the best character.
Yeah, I
Ling
love
was the
him,
best.
man. I
Yeah,
love him.
I fucking love.
I
Uh,
remember reading the manga because it was they were showing the anime na rin eh. I was trying
yeah,
to catch up on the manga while the anime was still out, and
yes.
then I loved the Ling Greed part, and I was like,
Dude, Greenlit. I remember when I was a kid, I was like, this is doing something for me, and I don't know what it is. And then now that I'm older, I was like, oh, I get it. Greenlit was just super horny. Like he has a horny design, and like his character is like super horny. So that's why like, everyone loved him because he was super sexy. And I was like, I get it now.
yeah, like
I
the characters like personality basically. Like,
Yeah, the personality was like, he was like super
oh yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Like,
Wow.
hell yeah, fuck yeah.
Shit, man. Just thinking about it right now. Open some doors.
Really? Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
me next, please. Uh,
Yeah.
so now that my dad was super into it, there was a time during when did we watch it? We finished Full Metal Alchemist in April, I believe.
Nice.
There was every time I came downstairs, he wouldn't even greet me. He wouldn't even say hello. He would just be like, "Hey, you want to watch Full Metal Alchemist now?" And I'm like, "Hold on,
Nice.
I'm
Nice.
so dehydrated." And then Death Note. My gosh, because the first time I watched Death Note, back when it was airing, after spoiler alert, after L died, I stopped watching because I feel that
There's no
I like
point.
there was a point. It just didn't feel the same.
Yeah.
And someone who read the manga before me told me that like yeah, it doesn't end in a satisfying way.
Yeah.
And it didn't. It didn't end in a satisfying way. I feel like Nier cheated, but I feel like it's okay because at no at that okay. I forgot the name of the guy. I forgot it because it was so unimportant. But the new Teruhashi or whatever, the guy with the glasses, the third Kira, he was just so uninteresting. His motivation was just so not fun, not cool, not important. He just kind of seemed like a fucking edge lord, right? And then Misa was like not so irrelevant during those times. So I'm like, why am I even watching this? I
Yeah.
was watch honestly, I was watching for Mello because Mello was just so fun, and I like
He was
Mello more
trying
than
his
everything
best.
there. And then Mello fucking straight up dies. I guess I mean I get that it was like for a reason and it was like a sacrifice, right? Like it's like oh you sacrificed the queen but you got the king and checkmate stuff like that. And but I also like I loved Mello. He was just such a bitch about everything. He always argued all the time for no reason. And I'm like I appreciate that. We should have more irrationally angry characters. I feel that it's just reflective. They're just some irrationally angry people.
I don't. I have like vague memories now of Death Note, the anime.
Yeah.
I know the manga because I read the manga and I love it.
Oh
Like
yes, it's beautiful as the
there's a part of the manga where it, I don't know. It's hard to explain, but it was like it ended good with the manga for me. I'm not sure
uh-huh.
how, but I that's like my consensus, like my feeling from like back then until now. And then whenever it's with the anime, I always remember that it also I also had to watch the live action at the same time.
Which live
The
action? The
Japanese,
Japanese
yeah,
one.
yeah. It was the dumbest shit ever.
Oh
Kasi,
yeah, you thought so?
like
Yes.
the first Japanese movie was okay. Then like they made two more or something. Like one was about uh they made L live,
Oh really?
and then he had yeah, and Kira died.
Mm,
So, but L had like a few days left or something like that.
I
And
see.
then he had like they spent it on him, like focusing on like how he's gonna live his life now that he's about to die, something like that, which was like
I
sad, and at the same time
sad bittersweet.
it's so far from the actual shit.
Yeah, I feel like just fan service at that point,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, it was that, and then it kind of conflicted with my memory with the anime dahil doon. Kasi I was like watching those things at the same time, so medyo blurry yung um, memory ko with the anime.
But you know what? If they suddenly like make like a mini series for the latest Death Note chapter, the new one, you remember? Did you read it?
Yeah, the one with
The one with
the one with Trump.
Minoru. Yes, the our Chad socialist king Minoru. I would love it. I feel that that was a great because hi, Death Note is so old. All right, it's
Yeah,
2010. So I feel like if you were to continue it, how would you do so in a way that would satisfy fans? And the answer to that is that you can't. You can't satisfy
yeah.
anybody. But
It's
uh,
2020.
I'm personally a fan of just taking the same setting and doing something completely different with it. However, this is not a hard and fast rule because I did start Legend of Korra, but I did not continue it because I feel that it was in the same world, but the spirit was just too different for me to get into it. Although that was also because I was like much younger when I was
Watching Legend
watching
of
Legend of
Korra.
Korra. Now that I'm older, I feel like I can grasp it, firmly grasp it. The whole politics of that
Yeah.
episode because that's what Korra was. Korra
Yeah.
was politics, but it was also like heavy-handed politics. Like a lot of this stuff didn't really like seem correct. Like I feel like yeah, we should get
There
rid of
there are
ending.
plenty of parts wherein like you could easily be like, yeah, this bad guy kind of make good
Yeah, yeah,
points.
like he made a point. Are we gonna ignore the fact that he's kind of right?
They just
Eh,
make it like they just what they do to make the bad guys really bad is like they're destroying stuff, they're hurting people, and that's
whatever,
like,
man.
oh man, they hurt people, their opinions though are invalidated now. Basically
Uh,
ganun yung Legend of Korra plots. Like
yeah, and I mean, like, it's like the ultimate like kick the dog thing, right? Like you're trying to make someone uh evil by just like, oh, they hurt innocent people. No, alright.
yeah.
Like, yeah, but I get it. I get where they're coming from. They were kind of right. I thought they were kind of
the
right.
the first season of Legend of Korra like was good politics. It was like that whole people with no abilities bullshit. But they just had to like really take it too far with like the whole like bad guy or really wants secretly wants to like remove everybody's bending and want to
Then
be like the strongest person ever.
okay, well,
Which
I mean, yeah, which was bad, but
yeah.
his core ideas like made sense.
Yeah, man, we want equality, man. This fucking bender shit, man. Why is
Uh,
there bender shit? Can't
yeah,
do anything.
I should. Yeah, it's coming to Netflix, so I might as well watch it.
Yeah, I'm waiting for it. I want to watch it too.
Oh yeah, you're like waiting every day. Oh, when are they gonna release it?
Yeah,
When are they gonna
yeah.
release it?
Because my brother's
Uh,
watching the Legend of Aang. So
oh yeah,
whenever
for
I
the first
hear him
time.
watch what?
For the first time.
Yeah, I don't know. Not the first time.
Ooh.
I think he's just binging the whole thing again because he doesn't remember what happened.
Ah, I see.
Yeah, kasi we used to watch it on Nickelodeon eh. Yun
Yeah,
naman
every
yung,
day, every day.
yeah, and hindi episodic siya. Like,
Yeah. Unless you have to backtrack. And ang sobrang hirap naman yan kasi towards later episodes, they're all very sequential.
yeah, and
Especially once you enter Zuko's arc. It's
yeah,
so sequential.
they always have to like, especially on Nickelodeon, they have to specify that
Like
chapter three.
previously,
No, like the like what like they're showing chapter three or like the book three part. Like, oh, okay, this is where you have to catch it, sequentially, and not like randomly.
really appreciate how they dealt with previously on Avatar. Like it was kind of annoying when you binged it. But when you think about when what the setting was, this was like 2009, and then you didn't really have it on
Yeah.
streaming sites. Like it made sense that they would have to remind you at every single turn what happened before and what were the relevant. Because sometimes I get it, they would reference a certain like episode would reference or like build off of a plot point that was developed like 20 episodes ago, so they have to like refresh you on what happened then, and I really appreciate that. And I feel that's something that we nowadays in our modern streaming society take for granted. Because when I was
Yeah.
watching Fullmetal Alchemist, my dad was like, "Pia, when are Winry and Ed gonna get together? Like they're taking so long." And I feel like Ed should just. And I'm like, "Tatay, I had to watch this entire thing for months. You think I didn't have to be like, when is Ed gonna tell Winry that he likes her?" And
Man,
it was
that's why I
like,
cried when I watched Full Metal Alchemist for the first time again. Like when I watched it again, like the opening made me cry because I'm like, all the hardship of like trying to keep up with that series.
yeah, it really is a saga. I
Yeah,
watched it. I looked at I when I rewatched it, I was like, this was really a great show. Like probably still one of like the greatest shows of all time.
it's
And
timely, basically. It's
but
timeless, timeless. That it's
timeless.
timeless.
But I will also say now, when I was watching it, I was too young to start watching it.
Yeah,
Because I when I look back at these shows, it's like these are not
Or
hi, hi. What is a kid safe concept, right? Because I feel that social realities should be something that you learn young while you're young. But I also think that my parents let me watch whatever the fuck I wanted. Or no, I know that's not true. I was able to watch whatever the fuck I wanted because I was able to hide it from my parents. Such was the society that we lived in, right? Because our parents didn't have like the internet and on the anonymity that came with the internet. But then our generation, we had that, and then they did not have those experiences, so they didn't know what needed to be done in order to control us and to make a safe environment. Because I remember stumbling into some really not okay stuff for kids to learn, and I felt so mature that I
is
learned
that
all this
is that
stuff
from old media or
from like
online?
online, from like
Okay.
dial-up internet. That's like it's
Okay.
always a two-way street when it comes to the two-way street when it comes to talking about internet, right? Like it's a
Yeah.
great tool, but also I saw a bunch of things I was not supposed to be seeing. And that probably like gave me some deep-seated trauma or whatever the hell.
Yeah. With my part, like I grew up mostly from like old media. I'm not that old, but
Mhm.
we didn't have internet back then. Kaya puro TV shit lang. And then like
Uh,
cartoon back then was watching it now kind of like like they've hinted like a bit of like adult context to like some of their jokes. Like
yeah,
like they're trying to say, oh, kids will understand this, but really, like those type of jokes,
yeah.
like how Adventure Time kind of became.
Oh yeah, Adventure Time took a. I was such a big Adventure Time fan, and I still am. I just think that it took such a weird and unexpected turn.
I feel like that was during the later part now, and it got
Yeah.
bigger online. Dahil
Yes.
nga, ayun, more accessibility and like more hidden, what do you call this?
Like jokes.
No, yeah, or tone, like the
Oh
way,
yeah.
like the whole bubblegum and Marceline part, like
Oh yeah. I mean, sure, but also like there was some episodes that dealt with like genocide
yeah, those
and
parts.
like xenophobia, and I was like, oh okay.
They never talked about it. Like when you watch it like on TV, like more or less you will just let it pass. But once
Yes.
when online came and people watched it and reviewed it, they'll be like,
Wait a minute.
they were like
They're trying to say something here.
they were like talking about how fucked up the world was and some shit
Yeah,
like
which
that.
I feel that is like a responsibility that people
Yeah,
have
kind of.
to comment on social realities. But I also feel that it should be done with like a guiding hand because you're a kid and then this is the first time you experience it and then you don't have like oh like why is this thinking flawed? You don't have like references because you don't have anyone else but this one sole source of media. So I feel that if you're really going to like start pushing for children's content to be more politically aware, then they have to be saying different things. They can't all be liberal and they can't
Yeah,
all be like conservative. Like they really have to like do the different shades of
a
gray.
good balance basically. But
Mhm.
yeah, that's why many like the one that you were like mentioning kanina na like what counts as like like meant for a kid demographic versus like an early adult. And
Mhm.
because with like social media mostly and how hyper aware people are, uh this type of stuff, like they never foresaw like cartoons having
Oh yeah,
such
yeah.
impact now.
Yeah.
Now
I
they
mean
have
that
to. Yeah.
was that not like the lesson in Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared if you watch that about how like oh the times have changed.
Yeah.
Um and I obviously care a lot about it because that was my thesis.
Nice.
Well, yes and no. My thesis was about uh nudity in art
Okay.
and how it should be how the topic should be approached when it comes to kids, because I feel that kids shouldn't be afraid of like their bodies and about sexuality, but I also feel that you can't just like let them do whatever they want. There's like a proper healthy way for them to like understand sexuality and art,
You know,
because some
okay, wait.
because go ahead.
I'll make you finish, and then I'll say something. Yeah.
Okay, because I feel that I stand by this. You make kids like, oh, you can never like do this or do that or look at naked people, and they'll be afraid of that their whole lives, and then they'll never be able to like think for themselves that like, oh, they'll always feel ashamed, and when you're ashamed you get super repressed, and that's probably like the worst option, because then you become like a super freak once you like open the cage of like your I don't know, your psychosis. You fucking
Yeah,
a Freud.
it kind of like hinders your growth basically.
Yeah.
That's how I feel right now with like comics.
Oh.
Lalo na sa convention scene. Kasi I'm
Okay.
so tired of like adult,
Oh.
especially parents. I mean, I
Uh-huh.
understand
Ah.
their concern, but
Yeah.
the amount of times I get told, pang bata pa ba to? And then me telling them that yes, why the fuck wouldn't it be? You know, like
I get it. I get it.
especially like with like and then there were like conventions wherein like a school profession professional would like try to uh
Review.
review which counts as safe for kids and not, and it
Uh,
sucks that their borderline always has to be a fantasy world that has like like Rob Champ's work when there's no dialogue, and
like
or yeah, like like something that really looks like it's for kids
I
and
see.
not something that could teach them
You
something.
say that, but Light and Loss is like super sad. That's not sad, but like very lonely feeling.
I mean,
Like
the
very
this
isolated. So and
it's
that doesn't feel like it should be for kids either. So
it's yeah, it's
it really
subjective.
is so arbitrary.
And I remember there was this time wherein I was selling this comic. It's called No Pun Intended, and it was
Oh,
like
I have it.
yeah, it's something about some guy getting shot at, and it was like um it was my work to commemorate or like to talk about the uh tawag doon ulit? Extrajudicial killings. That was like my work for it, and I would
Nice.
sell that on conventions, and then I was getting told asked. There were like a few times I was asked if it's for kids, and then my reaction lagi sa ganon was like what do you mean? Is it for kids? And kung
Yeah.
sasabihin lang kung may bastos ba to or mura, then that's like okay,
Not
that's
technically, yeah, it's not.
yeah,
Eh, wala
it's
naman, right?
totally safe for yeah. There's no nudity, there's no bad words naman eh. Pero uh, when I remember like there was like this one time someone kind of got mad because
Oh
it
no.
was talking about politics, and then I was like, there's nothing. I first of all, it's like just showing today's climate. I at the time, like what was going on, and it's like
Uh,
it's up to you if you find that offensive or not. And if
yeah,
you were to show that like that kid the same thing right now, they would also still feel the same way as they did back then, which is
absolutely.
sad because like why the fuck would someone do that? Like
Yes,
killing him.
absolutely.
It's not a political statement. It's like why the fuck? Like a moral statement, which is
That's just reality.
yeah, and which is like something that's shouldn't be like gatekeep to say na it's only for teens or it's for adults. No, this is like a moral thing that you should teach kids also as like in a young, uh, like they should learn
Yeah, young
about this.
age.
Like
Yes.
I mean,
I feel,
yeah,
I get what you're saying, because I feel that Dead Balagtas, is doing the like the Lord's work for us, really
yeah.
paving the way.
She she she
Uh
she 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 be she be she on another level, man.
yeah, and then but like personal safety, right?
Yeah,
I mean, uh, the in like in the Wikipedia page, the name is there, but like it's like on unspecified if this is the actual name, Emiliana. And I'm
No, it's
not
not.
sure actually, but I'm sure that she's a super lovely individual, and I hope that she's always safe because I'm sure that
Yeah,
with everything that she's putting out, like I bet, and like the Philippine market can be so mean, and
yeah,
so
conservative basically.
yeah,
Uh,
we were probably like the most politically divided
yeah,
Southeast Asian colony out there. Truly, like the black and white, right? Like we don't have a nice middle.
yeah.
Right, one thing or the other thing.
Like it's I actually, for me, I kind of blame the whole black and white part. Well, on my age, like for like the people my age, I kind of blame it on Twilight
Okay, explain.
because of like it's ever since Twilight, when Twilight came out,
Uh huh.
everybody was like the whole team Jacob, team Edward,
Okay, I
divided.
see.
Like they were like and this became like a radical part of divide. We're in like they don't want
Right.
a grayed area. It's either you're this person or you're that. If you're not that, then I be mad at you. You know, that was like the basic. That's like early Dilawan DDS back
Okay.
back then.
Did not
Yeah.
did not think that was where the conversation was gonna
No,
go, but alright.
yeah,
I don't
basically,
know. I mean, I get it. Because I'm thinking it right after uh Twilight was Hunger Games, and it was
yeah,
also like a Team Pita,
yeah,
Team Gale.
and
But I
that's
also feel like shipping wars existed before then, right?
yeah, shipping wars existed, but I feel like it was either my generation, cause like or like people close to my age
Generation.
at the time, like
Yes.
they really emphasized on this type of division, and it slowly grew and snowballed into like a bigger thing, like what you said, Pita and what's the other
Gale.
guy? Yeah, he's not
Gale.
cool.
Wow, I can tell which side you're on. You made it really obvious.
Who's that good?
It doesn't
Yeah, like
matter.
that. And to the point now, let's go with the most for me the part wherein I felt that it really grew was Civil War, wherein Captain America and Iron
Uh,
Man. Uh,
yeah, 'cause I guess. Okay, I mean, okay, think of it this way. Sports is also a very similar thing. You
yeah,
choose a side, and you can only be that side for the rest of your life,
yeah,
unless you're a fucking dirty traitor, and you abandon your people. But that being said, like I'm GSW, but I'm not GSW because I think that they're good. I'm GSW because I have a lot of friends who are GSW, right? So
yeah.
it's like I did not make an informed decision on who I would be uh uh
Like
on who I would
yeah,
be going against. It's just
it's
like a matter of the
bias.
choice.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's bias, and I feel that that's something that you can't really avoid in society. But I just think that people should definitely feel more open with dissent.
but yeah. Basically, what I was trying to like bring the conversation, the thing,
Okay.
my analogies a while ago, like Twilight, Hunger Games, and then
Uh-huh.
Avengers, is that
Uh-huh.
from like a Twilight was kind of small. Hunger Games, like there were more people who accepted it versus Twilight, and Avengers, like everybody was like on board with, was more or less on board with that shit, and they that this type of like from Avengers part, the whole divide was like they were like trying to make it like really big. We're in, you gotta be team what's that, what were those people again?
Captain
Captain
America or
America or
Iron
Iron
Man.
Man. Yeah, they were like really forcing like a big divide over that. And then it came to the point wherein elections were happening, and then it kind of
Oh, I see.
segued. It kind of like snowballed into that. Wherein like team not team this candidate or that
Yeah,
candidate,
team. It's a team. It
yeah, I
technically is a
guess, yeah,
team.
team, yeah, it became like that. So
Fascinating.
to
Yeah,
the
I agree with you. You're right.
it 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 and what's sad is the one that we're saying, we all know, like with the whole sports, everybody knew that the reason why I won't root for that other team is because it's just purely bias, like I love this team because it's either the first thing I heard, or like someone
Yeah,
told me they were good. So like that's bias, like they knew it's bias. And with
yeah,
sports, it's easy like to accept defeat. Like, oh, this person, the other
Yeah.
team did good, so like I understand, but I fucking hate them. I still love my team.
Yeah,
Like that type.
but yeah, so we're like preconditioned to think
Yeah,
to 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 think that like, oh, these kinds of fights, like it's okay, we like to be like, oh no, it doesn't make any sense, I just like this. So you think that it's okay to like choose like something that people don't agree with you on. Like for example, if you're like the only one in your friend group who is Team Gale, it's like that's fine because that's them and this is me. But then politics is a different
yeah.
story. You
It's
feel
a
like it's
it's
all
a
right for
it's
you
a
to disagree, but it's just like it's a privilege to disagree on politics,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Especially if you like have like a friend who's like directly impacted by political choices. Like maybe you have a friend who like lives in this specific part of the community, or whose dad is an OFW. It's a privilege for you to say that, oh, I don't believe in
This
uh
candidate. Yeah,
yeah, this candidate who's going to give you a better life because
yeah.
I don't like the way that he
I don't
colors his
like
hair. I
his
don't know.
opinions. But yeah, yeah, it's like when it comes to sports, people have like an understanding that yeah, we will have disagreements,
Yeah, it
and
also doesn't
but
matter.
with this with the whole with when I feel like when it came to like fictional stories, like the whole love team shipping parts, and it grew from like the shipping wars to like an actual
Like
debate.
argument.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to the point na like it became like a social norm to like for enforce which side you're
Oh,
on. Like,
listen, I'm not. Are we gonna talk about like modern fandom culture? Because I'm not ready.
nah,
I
nah,
don't have.
nah,
I
no.
don't have my note card. There's way too much
Yeah, we don't
to
have the
be
time
said
for
about.
that. But
I
I was
don't
like,
have the time. I don't have the patience. I my blood pressure's not good right now. I feel like if we start talking about it, we won't stop talking about it. I'd develop a stroke. I'd be dead on the spot.
no, like what I meant is like with like for example social media, like there were like plenty of it became like a common theme to like say which side you're on. Like,
Yes.
are you like the whole Captain America thing? Like they were like forcing you, which side you on? Like that type of shit, and
Mm.
it kind of became like a it became like a norm basically,
Yes.
wherein you have to like say like are you vegan or not or what like like two sides of different coin, and then you can never be the coin basically.
Yes.
So that was like the whole lead up to this talk, basically. Yeah.
Uh, Okay, so this is a story, and I was like debating, like, am I gonna talk about this story? Because the story's fresh,
Okay.
so that's why I didn't want to talk about it. But I might as well, because I think because this is like towards the end of the podcast, so
Nah.
like
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. I have a college friend who hit me up, and it's like, oh, my me and my girlfriend, they're both great. I love these two people. They're like, we found this girl, and she can be a candidate for your romantic partner. And like, first of all, that's hilarious because it feels like a job interview with like referrals. It's like, wow, well prepared. Like, you
this
got
is
like
a
your
reality show.
you got
Welcome.
like your resumes, and it's like what's your previous like work experience, and I have like a letter from your ex. It's like I truly wish
My
that
letter of recommendation ka pa, no? Like, oh, okay,
yeah, right,
this
from like your
resume.
parents. It's like my daughter is good for you, and you would sorely miss it if you said no to her. So ayan. But then the prerequisite question that my friend asked before he introduced me to her properly was like, are you okay that she okay, so like I won't say it out loud because I'll be too embarrassed, but I ship this thing, and then there's like this big it's either you ship this or you ship that, and I ship this and she ships that. So then he was like, are you okay with this? And I'm like, am I? It's such a petty thing, but I'm like, but I do really care about a lot of this. And I'm like, it goes to show that like I really am willing to compromise like future happiness because we don't agree on this very
Man,
like
I,
specific inconsequential thing. But it matters to me.
I want to
It
say
matters.
first that if you're gonna have that type of disagreement, that's not future happiness. So
Yeah.
it's good that you dodged that. If you know, like,
No,
you won't
no, she's
compromise.
lovely. She's lovely. I talk to her nowadays. We're pretty good friends. And here's the thing that I'm thinking about, because my best friend is also that ships the other thing that I don't like, and our compromise is we don't talk about it. And
Yeah,
it's not like it's not like politics, all right? It's just we don't agree on like this piece of media, so we don't have to like bring it up, and we just like there are other things to talk about other than this
yeah. You can still be functional
specific.
people. If you want to be
Yeah,
like friends, you can like you should overcome like the
yeah.
weird shit.
Yeah, we are still friends. It's
Yeah,
just me. It's just that I'll never. I won't go to her for romantic advice because clearly she doesn't have the kind of romantic advice that I'm looking for.
nice.
Yeah.
That's okay. I mean,
Mm.
you get many other chances. I guess I'm not sure.
Maybe. Do you know what your love language is, Giuseppe?
What's love language?
You don't know love languages?
I,
That feels hard to believe. It's
I what is it?
so you it's like a test, right? It's like a test, but it's a psychology thing. It's there's five of them. It's how you give and how you understand love. And it's really important because I mean it's something that you eventually figure out by yourself, but it's also
Okay.
nice to like see it on paper. But different people just like receive love in different ways. So the five uh love languages is gift giving,
Okay.
acts of service, physical touch, words of affirmation, and quality time.
Okay.
So you usually have like the top two.
I have like
And
3 out of 5.
yeah, I mean, and it's important to know because, like, for example, this is something really important because I don't really get along with my mother. But learning about love languages has really helped me try to connect with her. So it's like, okay, like she buys me stuff, right? Like
Okay.
she'll go out of her way to like buy me a new shirt,
Okay.
but I won't appreciate it
Yeah,
because
because
I'm
it's
not.
a shit shirt.
I mean, no, I'm sure it's a good shirt. It's just that it's just that I'm not a person. I wear like the
Yeah, yeah.
same five outfits
I
like
understand. I understand.
in a year.
It's not your type.
I'm yeah, right, exactly. It's not my type, but because I don't appreciate what
Uh,
she gave me,
She'll
it
get
feels like
mad.
it
Yeah.
feels like I rejected her love because I did not acknowledge that. Oh, it just felt like she was giving me things. I
Yeah.
did not realize that it was because she was in love with me. And inversely, I value quality time. That's my top is quality time. So sometimes I'll invite my mom to like, hey, just sit here, watch things with me. She's like, oh, I'm busy. I'll get bored. Sometimes she'll be on her phone when I'm trying to show her like my favorite film, or I say like, hey, let's just walk around. She's like, all right, but then she'll just be like taking pictures of everything, not appreciating the scenery, and it's like, but this is my quality time. This is the way I show love, and you're not
Yeah.
participating in
Yeah.
it, so it just feels like you don't care. So it's like, oh, but then so it's important to know about it and also know its limitations. So I'll never change, and she'll never change. So at this point, it's just like to acknowledge the best
Compromise. Yeah.
compromise, but like let's curb our expectations, right? I won't
Yeah.
expect my mom to suddenly give a shit about my favorite cinematographic uh, uh, techniques. All right, I don't expect her to care about like media literacy, and inversely, I don't like it when she buys me things, which is because like
Yeah.
okay,
I'm like that with my
although
parents.
not to diss on gift giving because I feel like people do that a lot. I think gift giving is a valid form of affection. A lot of people say it's pretty capitalist, and I get it because it feels like you're buying affection
I
from
feel
other
like
people.
me I'm not much of a fan of like giving gift or receiving gifts, and
Oh
it's
yeah.
mostly because for me it's kind of like a boomer thing.
Ah yeah, you're right. But okay, here's the thing. If you like buy, I don't know, a bag, I have a tita who always buys me like bags, like handbags, and it pisses me off because I've never used a handbag before in my life.
Yeah.
So not only is it's useless because and it proves that she doesn't know me, right? That she didn't
Yeah.
take the time to get to know me. But if it's like, oh, I know that like like a 2B pencil is like what? Like 11 pesos.
Yeah.
But if you buy me a 2B pencil, I'll be like so like
Oh my
thank
god.
you.
I
because
love
I
this.
needed it to be and it proves to you that
Yeah.
you know me. So when it comes to gift giving, it's not necessarily about the monetary
And
value, but
and
like
and
the usefulness.
and the most things, like for example with that handbag, like if you were given a handbag, instead of like focusing on like you actually using it, they're focusing more on like you receiving something, and
Right,
the
yeah.
value of that something. So like that bag that you
Yeah.
got, if it's
Oh God.
branded,
Oh God,
if it's a
absolutely.
branded bag, they'll be like, oh, you got that
Oh
Louis Vuitton.
yeah, it's really expensive, huh? It's
Yeah,
a lot of
yeah,
money. And I
you
was
should
like, I never asked.
appreciate me for
Yeah, but it's
giving
like
you a
I never.
Louis Vuitton.
Yeah, but it's like I never asked you to get me an expensive
Yeah,
thing, and I won't be able
yeah,
to use it. So now I just feel like a piece of shit who can't
yeah.
appreciate good things. But
I kind of like associate the type of like, it's terrible to say, but you know, I kind of associate it with like boomers.
yeah,
Yeah, with my
I get it.
parents.
Yeah. Oh, but I also appreciate some gift giving because it's like if you make your own money, the fact that you like okay, what does it mean to like have disposable income? You probably work, you probably you probably work a lot, right? So if you work a lot to get enough money to buy your friend thing, or I don't know, your shota, I don't know, I don't care. Then it's like that's a great act of love because you like took the time to really put in effort so that you can get this thing for them. And in that case, it would be pretty shitty of you to not appreciate their gift.
Yeah.
But then it all feels like you're buying their affection.
Also, if you like, there most times I feel like people who do that, like when took the effort to like buy your significant or other or friend something, and then like just give it. Most of the time, they don't really expect anything in return. They just like,
Return, yeah, yeah, yeah,
I feel like most of the time they just really want to give you something. That's why they place
yeah,
in the effort into actually
yeah.
giving.
Which is,
Unless like,
and
you're like the type that wants something in return.
ooh, uh,
Yeah.
well, if the wanting something in return, that must be because you expect them to have a
Yeah,
gift
yeah.
giving love language as well. But like maybe some people's love languages is like words of affirmation. They just say, "Hey, good job. I really appreciate it." It's like I don't care if you thought I did a good job. I just want like something back for my birthday.
See,
And that's not
there's this
yeah,
one
but it's not
comic kit
okay,
wherein,
yeah.
sino ba yung babae na to? Si Chelsea, kaya si Chelsea ba?
ICCJ?
Yeah, si
CC.
CJ. Yeah. I think
Yeah.
there's like, I think it was last year, wherein uh we were flirting at that time kasi wala pa siyang boy
Sienna,
boyfriend.
Jules.
Yeah,
Si
and
Jules.
at the same time, it was mostly for social media shit, but the same, we were having
Yeah.
fun. And
Dude, being single is the best networking opportunity ever.
yeah, and then what I did was like, I think I bought her a cupcake, and I gave
Okay.
it to her with like some handwritten stuff at the side of the box, and then like,
Uh-huh.
oh, here, have a cupcake, and then she was like, oh
Uh,
my god, cupcake, and I was like, hell yeah, that's good. I don't need
yeah.
anything in return. I just wanted to give the cupcake, be like, oh yeah, here, cupcake, something like that.
Aw.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? I was always thinking this, but it's slightly unrelated, by the way. But during the February Comic-Cons, I bet if there were like flower booths where you could like buy
Yeah.
flowers for like your creators, I
Yes.
bet like that would be like amazing. I think that like
Yes.
you would get so much money.
The one with me and Chelsea, like the thing that I wanted, I wanted to make it into a thing, which was, uh, you buy something from someone and give it to the person that you like, who's also another creator, basically.
I see.
And
Nice.
it's like with the flowers thing, like,
So
if
it's
there
like a
was,
barter system.
it's like how, alam mo yung mga schools that have like those Valentine's Day bullshit.
Absolutely. I never got anything from
Yeah,
that. No one cares about me. That's
but
fine.
if there was something like that in a convention, man, I will
Oh,
show
dude.
appreciation to almost all my friends.
First and foremost, Pandesai would at least go home with a garden because everyone on God's green earth
Shout out to
is like at
Pandesai.
least slight. Shout out to Pandesai. Everyone's in love with her.
Yeah, she the best.
Yeah,
She
she's so nice.
yeah. But yeah, like that. Like, y-
Oh, wait, hi, wait. While we're talking about this, Filipino artists who would absolutely get like so many like Valentine's Day gifts. Pandesai, Joash, Aeonics. Oh my God, Aeonics.
Aeonics, I don't want to talk about it. He's too pretty, man.
He, but also shorter than I thought.
Yeah, but he yung kailan ba yun? Cosmania or Cosmatsu? Yeah. He had
Matsuri.
he has we were like just in front nearby him and then we could see
Yeah,
like the
yeah,
fans going wild for him. I'm like,
yeah.
oh
Me
man.
too. Me too. Honestly, me
And
too.
I was like even I was like shy to talk to him. Like my friend would be like, oh, it's
Mm.
Onyx and like
He's got the pretty boy swag.
yeah. I'm like, ah man, I can't. I'm not worthy to talk to that guy. God damn it. I
Yeah.
understand. But yeah, it would be Comic Cat if you're listening, if you're watching this Comic Cat, have a flower
Sir
booth.
Paolo, Sir Paolo, if you're listening,
Get
thank you for your work.
yeah, and get a flower booth so that creators could show appreciation to other creators without buying
Do
their
you
merch.
do you actually like it when you receive flowers? Have you ever even received? Oh, you
Wait,
know what?
I'm gonna show you something.
Okay.
A
Although,
I got a flower during the February Comic Cat.
oh,
Someone gave me a flower,
oh.
and
Do
I
you know
said,
who it is?
not really. I think it was just some girl who saw me, and then she was like, "Oh, here, have a flower," and I'm like,
Oh, that's sweet.
"Thank you. I'll keep it forever." And it's plastic, so I'm able to keep it forever.
Yeah, exactly. I do appreciate plastic roses over real roses. Although I had a friend kasi who was who worked at like this flower store.
Yeah,
He did like collaterals and graphics for that, and then she became close to all the gardeners, and I also became close to all the gardeners. And like, man, gardeners like are the unsung heroes. You know, like I really appreciate the things that
yeah.
they do.
That,
Like when there's like a good garden, like if like the mall has like a good plant diversity, it really livens the place up. But then you also don't notice when there are plants. So sad. Justice,
you also don't know who did
justice.
it, so
Yeah, justice for gardeners.
yeah. Hashtag justice for gardeners.
But honestly, I'm actually allergic to most plants, so I actually
Damn.
yeah.
Okay, anybody who wanna give plants to Maria Media here,
It better be plastic. It better be
better be
plastic.
plastic.
Or
Better
you
be
know,
only plastic. We don't care about the world. We only want plastic.
oh, so sad.
No.
But how about so? What were you saying? So how about you? What do you think your love language is? It's a test, by
Wait,
the way.
wait.
But
You gave like five? What was the
yeah,
five
it's
thing?
fine. Quality time,
Okay,
gift giving,
okay,
words of affirmation. So like
okay.
you can do it. I believe in you. Um, acts of service. Like, oh, I heard that you had a hard time today, so I'll give you like a back massage, like stuff like that. Or that, oh, I know you need to go to the grocery, but you also have stuff to do, so I'll go to the grocery for you. And then what did I say? Gift giving, acts of service, words of affirmation, quality time. Um,
Forgot.
oh wait, hold on.
Well, from while you're thinking about it, the my answer would be the words of affirmation. That's what I resonate with,
Yes.
as well as the acts of service. There's another one.
Yeah.
I feel like the other one, the last thing that you'll say, I also resonate with.
Wait, hold on. I'm looking for it.
I don't.
It's physical touch.
Yeah,
There we go.
there. Yeah. I'm not
Oh, dude, I
not fit, not like sexual. Like
no, it's never anything. It doesn't have to be sexual. I
I
mean, they could all be sexual things.
yeah. True that.
I
But
I'm like I'm like the least. Okay, here's the thing, right? So the tricky part about love languages is what you give and what you
get
expect
okay.
others to give you are completely different things. Like I am a physically affectionate person. I don't mind. I mean, nowadays in this uh physical
Quarantine.
distancing
Yeah.
world, I will not. But I'm known as a person who like
Yeah.
hug or like hold or like just like have people on my lap. But I do not like that back, and that feels very hypocritic. And it is, and
Girl,
yeah,
I
but it's
feel the
like
same.
yeah, it's like I just love when they're okay with it. Of course, I'll like hug them because I know that they appreciate it. But then if they
Yeah.
try to hug me back, I'm like, but I don't appreciate it, so
Yeah.
no. Yeah, it's a slippery slope. It's
Yeah.
very strange and kind of hypocritical of me to do so, but I know that they like it. That's why I do it.
Yeah, no,
But then
like when you know that it's kind of safe, and they make you feel like it's alright. It's like okay.
yeah, it's not that I hate physical touch. It's just that I don't care about physical touch. Because I know there are some people that when they allow you to hold them, or when someone else allows them to be held, it's like it means a lot to them. But for me, it doesn't mean anything at all. And I guess it comes from like if they have like a physically uh, a touch starved like childhood where like maybe they weren't like held enough as a baby. Like they care a lot. It's like, oh, I'm being held right now. This means a
This is the
lot.
feud shit.
Yeah,
Freud
and
Freud
Freud
shit.
shit. So it's
Freud.
like, oh, it means a lot to them to be held, and that's fine. But it's like it doesn't mean a lot for me to be held. So it's like
That's
incompatible love language.
uh I like patting people.
Yeah, head
For
pats, right?
nah,
Head pats.
like even like from the arm or
Oh yeah.
back. Like I would like physically punch people when I'm like bored as fuck. Like not the strong punches, like me pretending like I'm like punching them, and then yeah, that's like one of it's not like have this thing where in like uh I like touching people, not sexually, like the like a playful touch, but at the same time I don't like being touched because I
Yeah.
find it like why the fuck you touching me.
What are you touching me, dude? People are
Yeah,
fickle. People are we're naturally like
yeah.
difficult creatures. That being said, like the thing that someone told me that I do this, and then once they opened up like they shattered that window, I was like, you're right, I do this, but I always push people's hair back without really realizing it.
Like how?
I
Like that?
especially, no. Like if there's like a girl, and then I'll just like brush their hair behind their ear.
Ooh, that's some anime shit right there.
It's just like, I realize that I do. Like sometimes I'm just with someone, and then they're just talking, and then maybe like a hair falls, and I'm just gonna be like, just gonna move it out of the way, and then they'll realize
Nice.
it. And then suddenly they'll stop. They'll like they'll like start stuttering, and I was like, why? What
Nice.
happened?
Oh, oh,
Because
oh,
it's just
oh
like
no. Oh no.
because no, because I'm talking to you, right? I'm talking to you, and then there's suddenly something in the way, and I'm like, oh, I can't see your eyes anymore. So I move it out of the way, and then suddenly people will be like, oh my god, and it's like, why?
They're
What
like
did I do? I don't get it.
you basically cabedon what's it?
Oo
Cab
nga eh, kinabilan ko sila na didn't realize, and I get it. And then that like opened the like, oh, is that not something people just like do
do
all?
yeah.
Because I'm like the inverse. My mom was way too touchy with me as a kid, and I hated because my mom was like, "Oh, like you have something in your teeth," and then she'll just put her thumb in my mouth and then just
Yeah.
be like, "Oh, it's over there," and I'm like, "No, no." So I live in a like what is the opposite of touch starved? I'm like a touch glutton, right? Like I'm way too full. I've had like my fill of physical touch for like the rest of my life. Like I hit the quota. Like you have maybe like 200 cases of physical touches per year, and I like exceeded that by February. So I'm like I'm good, all right. I don't care.
Basically
Uh,
you're always the big spoon.
yeah. I like to be the middle, the small spoon sometimes, and that's because when I need to go to the bathroom, it's like I don't have to wake someone else up, right? You know what I mean? I just feel like more efficient to be the small spoon.
Okay, I like how you went with that.
Yeah, right. Because okay, if you are an individual who often hits it and quits it, if you're the big spoon, it's like you can't leave them. You can't leave in the middle of the night, right? And if you're the little
Damn.
spoon, you can like, you can like shimmy out of their grasp, and then you can be gone before the morning comes.
Yeah, that's how it works. But
That's
yeah,
just life sometimes, right?
it do be like that sometimes.
Yeah. I'm efficient to a fault. I won't do anything that I don't have to do, and I feel that's why I started a YouTube channel, right? Because I used to have a YouTube channel way before I was a kid, but then I was
Girl,
bullied. I was bullied a lot.
damn.
Yeah, I made like a video about because you can see like your algorithm, right? You know what I'm talking about. You can see like which country you're usually from, and then because before I used to animate, I won't tell you much about it because it's honestly the most embarrassing thing ever. But I used to animate, and then you can tell like from the stats that most of my
Viewers.
viewers were from the states, right? So I was like, oh, I should introduce them to Filipino culture, and I made this video that blew up. I mean, my version of blowing up. So it's like I don't know, like 10,000 viewers, and it was just about like strange inconsistencies with the Filipino culture. So it was just like me kind of like laying it thick about like the Filipino culture is super weird, but it's also like fun. But it seemed like it offended a lot of people. So a
Yeah.
lot of people like, super like bullied me, especially like about my face. Like a lot of people like called me like ugly and stuff, or like fat. Not that that's a problem, but it was said with harmful intent. um
Damn.
and especially because I was talking about how Filipino people never really do look like Filipino people. Like they we we're a culture that overlaps a lot, right? There's a lot
We
of
we
cultural.
we hella mix, man. We hella
Yeah,
mix.
like what is like a pure Filipino, right? If
Yeah.
if such a thing exists. So I was
Yeah.
saying that like a lot of people, and I get this a lot. I guess a lot even until now think that I am Korean or Chinese or Japanese. Someone assumed that I was Thai when I went to the States, right? And a lot of people were like, "Oh, nagpapanggap ka lang, like sobrang Filipino mo na ganong ilong." And it's like you just think that you're cool and that you look Japanese, but you're really not. And I'm like, all right,
Damn.
like my feelings are hurt, but it's just
Yeah.
also the truth. So I don't know what the hell's your problem. But I have like low self esteem, so of course that shit bothered me, and I just like left YouTube and didn't come back. But now I came back because I'm trying to learn to do things, even though I know that they won't be successful. Because I feel like I never take risks in life. I think that
Yeah.
everything's calculated. How about
Yeah.
you? Are you like a pre-planner? Do you know what your Myers Briggs is?
I think I did. Nah, I feel like it changes always. It depends
Oh
on like
yeah.
the girl I'm talking to, and it changes. Like they're the ones who'd be like, "Hey, have you tried this?" I'm like, "Okay, I'm gonna try it for you." And then,
It,
uh,
it, it depends on like the position of the sun in the sky.
it always depends on like who I'm talking to at the time, cause like, okay, for me I'm this, for you I'm this, like basically that. But to answer your question, like I didn't most of the time I seemed like I look organized, like the way this whole podcast looks. I showed you how I edit it, how
Yes.
everybody would be like, oh my god, there's a mangaka so organized as fuck. I mean, even like how I set up on conventions, how
Oh
I'm
yeah.
like fucking fast.
Oh dude, you're efficient.
Yeah,
I've never seen anyone as efficient as
people
you.
think I'm like organized as fuck or like I plan shit out, but for the most part is I learned through failure. So like I fail a lot first, and then
Okay.
I'll be like, okay, I kind of know what I'm doing now. I just improve myself. So I fail
Yeah.
first, basically.
You're a trial by fire kind of person.
Yeah,
I really
yeah,
appreciate
yeah. So I don't really prepare stuff. I fail first and be like, okay, this is what I should do next.
it's good because I
Yeah,
don't think I think that failure people should there should be safe spaces for people to fail. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah,
This is something that I'm usually private about, but I think that I might as well talk about it here. But there are some like new artists, like starting artists, whose like first event will be Comic Con. And I'm like, I appreciate your enthusiasm for life. And I don't want to gatekeep. I think that new artists and old artists are welcome to any and every event. I think that should be the case. But I although also don't think that your first event should be Comic Con and then you expect to sell a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially if you're a new person, like you don't have like social media presence, like you just started, and then
Yeah.
maybe you don't, like trial by fire, right? So you
Yeah.
like go to different print shops, you test every print. What is the most efficient print? That's like the best price, it's the best quality. You don't get that when you're starting, and then you're gonna start Comic Con, and it's just
Yeah.
gonna be like you're set up for break even at best, right? I mean, maybe there's some lucky ones,
Yeah.
but I just think that kalma lang, right? Especially if you're like a shy person. My gosh, kasi meron akong kaharap in the February Comic Con. It was just a really shy looking
Si
boy. And
Brian yan, no? Na joke lang.
I don't know. No, 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 not no.
I
Brian
know, I know,
was
I know, I
like,
know. I made the joke.
but
I
I
made
think
the joke.
Brian knows. I think Brian knows who I was talking about. He was the guy across
Yeah.
from us,
I feel
and he
like I
was
know that person too.
only had like a few merchandise that was available, and then he was always like kind of like scared and like finicky, and like he didn't really
Yeah.
have like a setup, and then he didn't really have like alam mo yung parang because like we do like the shelving thing, right? Like we know
Yeah.
where everything is. Like if you're
Yeah.
looking for something, it's just here, and then the money's over there. But siya parang like he only had like a bag, and every time someone bought something, he would like have to take everything out, and it was a whole ordeal. And I was like, I wanna help him. Like I wanna alam mo yung parang
You want to
nakita
give
ka
him lessons
meron
on
kang
like,
like meron kang no, I don't wanna feel like I'm better than him, but alam mo yung feeling na may kuting na like nasa basang-basang sa ulan, and I also be like,
yeah,
I need to take this cat home with me.
yeah.
Because I need to make sure that he's safe and sound. So yun, that's the way I feel about starting out. So of course there is that's the point, right? That's what pre-planning is for. Being spontaneous is fun in the moment, but it's also like, ooh, be prepared to fail. Safe spaces for people to fail. Start from like like student fairs, and then maybe you can work your way up to. I know. What would you say is the most hectic crowd? Would you say it's Comic Con, or
No,
would you say it's like anime
anime
conventions?
conventions suck.
Anime conventions talaga, no?
Yeah, they
Anime
suck the
conventions.
most.
I wouldn't.
No,
It
no,
it it
they suck the most in terms of like,
they sap
um,
your energy away.
that too. And I meant like in a crowd sense. People are more
Ah, yeah.
picky. People like if that's like the worst place to start for me. As like unless you like really want it hard mode, that's
Oo nga eh.
you go anime cons.
If you punish yourself enough,
Yeah,
like
like
yeah,
most of the people who go there, like they already like lost part of
they're
themselves.
seasoned.
Yeah,
They're like shit, ano yung like
veteran.
the super big boo that's always there. It's like the Sketch Philippines, Sketch Pinas. So you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
They have like the same there was one time it was like there were two events that were like back to back. I forgot I think it was Winter Cosplay Mania, and then Otaku's Fest. So I boosted at Otaku Fest, and then I just attended Winter, and then this particular group of artists, like they were there on both days, and their setup looked exactly the same. It's like, do you know what it takes to be so like perfected na? Like no,
yeah.
because they have like, diba, you have like the setup, and
I
then you have
understand.
the like
Displays. Yeah,
the displays, right? But the displays were like in exactly the same place, like Deku here and then Naruto, and then
yeah.
that bitch from Black Clover, and everything's the same. And it's like, how do you do that? Because like then I'd have to imagine na inorganize nila lahat like by like top to bottom, like
Yeah.
from left to right. But then you'd have to like included and like ingress and egress in the exact like very systematic formulaic way. Like you can't make mistakes with those kind of things because then it will ruin like the sequence.
Yeah.
And it's like
You know, like I've met a lot of convention people who are very more organized than me, and I kind
yeah,
of hate how organized they are.
mm, yeah,
Cause like I felt na, oh my god, they're way too prepared, and it just looks like such a
yeah.
burden. Kasi alam mo yung mga small or kahit let's say comic at siguro. There are
Okay.
people who have like big ass luggages and like
Oh
have
yeah.
small ass merch. Like that doesn't
Oof.
make sense, yo.
Yeah. You get the appropriate size boxes. You get folders, right? You get one of those uh plastic like sheets, right?
Yeah.
The ones that have like little pockets in it. And then, oh god, I hate it when the pockets of the plastic are so deep, but then they're just stickers. So you just have to like really like get them. That's why you get like I always use either like the tiny shelves or
Yeah.
like business card holders because then you can organize them
Yeah,
or like
yeah.
the accordion folders are always your best friend, especially like the envelope
Yeah,
ones.
yeah,
You know,
yeah. That's the
envelope.
small ones. The small
It's like,
shit.
oh, they're just the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember like there's not to this. They're awesome people. Sila Tabi, kilala mo ba yan? Sila Tabi.
Tabi Dross.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one with the cat.
Yes.
Yeah. Yung group niya, their group is like super prepared,
Uh huh.
always super prepared.
Good
And
for
then
them.
yeah, it's and then they're so organized to the point na I try not to look at them being super organized because like, oh man, that's too much, yo. But it works out for them, so like, yeah,
Yeah,
sure,
yeah.
no
It's
problem.
brand identity. It's brand
Yeah,
identity.
yeah.
It works.
But for me, I'm like, oh my god, that's like I
Yeah.
feel like, that's like so much pressure for towards them.
Why?
And
Me pers-
yeah,
Me personally, I always switch it up kada place, and I feel like it's the setting, right? Because
yeah,
when you're in Comiket, you'd probably want something that was a little bit more low key aesthetic, Tumblr looking things.
yeah, that's
But then you go like really commercial
on
when it comes
anime
to like
cons.
anime cons. Yeah, you know what it.
You sell out.
They
You
bust
sell out.
you bust out the impact, the white impact black border font. You get like the polls, you know what I mean? You get like the who do you think is like what's the anime of the season? Put like a peso here to cast your vote.
Yeah,
Really,
I
you
remember most anime. I didn't like anime cons because they sucked the life out of me. And
they
but at the same
tire you
time,
out.
you gotta do what you gotta do for that
Yeah, that's
money.
where the money is. The money is always in anime cons.
Yeah,
So and here's why. And here's why. Because anime cons tend to happen uh near schools. That's what I've really observed.
you
They
mean
have
the one in Mega Mall
yes.
and
Uh
SMX?
and SMX. They
Yeah,
happen, and especially schools where rich people go to. So it's like, oh, like, we're already here. We might as well go. And
that's
students
true.
will, students don't know the value of money. They'll pay any amount of thing for any amount of thing.
That's why Asia Pop, right?
Yes,
Uh,
never went, but heard is good.
for us, me and my friends, we always like Asia Pop because we all know that people who go there are always willing to spend the money because like
Yeah,
entrance fees like what 650, and if you're able to pay for that, you're able to buy shit.
right.
So
I understand.
it's always like, oh yeah, we're gonna capitalize on this rich people. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel the same way about Ateneo Trade, and I know that Ateneo Trade has kind of like this mythic quality among people who are not Atenean. It's like, ooh, what's going on in Ateneo Trade? And let me tell you, everything that you think about Ateneo Trade is 100% true. I was on it earlier today, and someone was selling a Rolex watch, a Swarovski Rolex watch for 1 million pesos, for like 1 million
Damn.
200,000 pesos, and I was like, okay, they're right. Someone was selling a Stratocaster guitar for like 80,000, and I'm like, fine. And then also someone was selling like cookies, right, like homemade cookies. It's like, wow, I
Damn.
love the
The
I
gap.
I love the gap. I love the gap.
The 1% people, man. Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, but listen, that's the best place to sell. If because although admittedly Ateneo Trade kasi is really just for other Ateneans. You don't get to go to Ateneo Trade if you don't study in Ateneo
yeah,
because you have to. It takes a while na rin for you to be accepted into the group. I know it took me 4 months before I finally was allowed inside the group because they do take a lot of time to like review who you are and make sure that you actually go to the school. Yeah, because I know, and I thought that was the standard, but then I figured out from my friend that like the UST trade, the automation trade, anyone can just go anywhere, and I was like, oh okay, it's not like a club or anything because Ateneo trade
damn,
is so exclusive, and I feel like that's a
damn.
good thing too. It's a good control scheme and it helps build up like our mythic our
Brand.
legends about the one time the girl sold the horse. I don't know if you know about that story, but one time a girl sold a horse. Someone was just selling horses in Ateneo Trade.
What the fuck's wrong with your school, man? But yeah, that sounds cool. Anyway, it seems like we really went over the time. I just noticed
Yeah.
we're like 140 minutes, 1 hour and 40 minutes.
I apologize for nothing.
Well, I appreciate our conversations. You know, it's really. I feel like ngayon lang tayo nakapagkwentuhan ng todo eh. Kasi most of the
Yeah.
times we only meet at the
Yeah.
conventions.
Oo nga eh. And then kasi the last time we had a convention, I was supposed to go drinking with you.
Ah, nga
The
no.
yeah,
The
though. Okay,
sticker
let
con.
me let me preface this. That venue. Wait, what's the name of that venue?
I
It's
forgot.
called yeah. But my friend kasi lives nearby, and
Mm,
it was uh her sister's birthday, and because I was sleeping over, and
yeah.
then the mom is like, "Oh, let's go out to eat," and I couldn't say no because
Yeah, you're
I
sleeping over.
yeah, like, I'm sleeping over. Like the least I can do is be there for like the birthday celebration. So
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh, sorry, gotta go. Sorry." So yun.
Nah, it's okay. I feel like I got drunk lang naman. That's cool. I it's a normal thing for me. Like
Yeah,
I just invite people lang naman. It's like that's basically my podcast over there at after conventions where like I try to trick people to drink with me.
trick people. Don't say that you trick people
Yeah,
into drinking
it
with
sounds like
it.
you know.
That sounds medyo sketch.
Yeah, sketchy as well. But to be honest, it is because like most it's we're basic. To be honest, it's just mostly dinner. Tapos it's optional na kung iinom sila or not. Kasi like
Oh.
I don't need to force them. My goal is to get drunk by
You don't
myself.
need to force. You don't need to force them. You know that they
Yeah,
will, because if there's one um reoccur. Okay, wait. Before I go, can I just tell the story? And also because
sure.
I miss college so much. Have you ever been to BLTX?
Yes, one time.
Let me just say, nah, BLTX is like the hub of modern day artists. I went out like
You
real
mean
quick
you, you mean
from the
what year?
last year 2019 in
Wow.
December. I was selling. It was so packed, Pab. So anyways, I just stepped out for a bit, like buy some water, and then on my way in, it was like I was in because like everyone outside is vaping. And I feel like
Yeah.
that's an artist stereotype, but it's so true. Everyone out there was wearing the same like scuffed Converse shoes, and everyone was vaping. And it was so the vape clouds was so thick. I felt like I was swimming in it. You know, it's like I don't like, really like. Where's my booth? Where's everyone? All I see is the color white, and it smells great too because everyone's on their like strawberry milk vape game, and I'm like I can't see. I'm kind of high, but at least I smell great.
Yeah,
Also
yeah, yeah.
smell great on the way going home.
Well, BLTX, I think they only BLTX. Parang, ano yun, kasama ko si Toto nun eh. Tapos we
Oh,
kept Toto Madayag.
where was he selling?
Yeah, he was selling. Uh,
Oh,
we were there, tapos for the most part, it was crowded as fuck. And dahil we were
so
sweating a lot,
crowded.
we never,
It's yeah.
yeah,
Although that's
well,
great. I've never.
the
That
venue,
was probably
the venue depends kasi on the year. They keep changing venues eh.
no, yeah.
Yeah. And, oops, oh, fuck. Uh, wait, audio man got fucked. Ah, I moved my mic. Okay, there's a part wherein it was so crowded that we ended up sweating anything that we drank. So like we were like drinking a lot, and then we were like sober at the end because like we sweated all out. Yeah,
Nice. Congrats.
that's yeah. Drinking after conventions, man. That's what I do, but I
Congrats.
don't do it in a responsible way. I am able to go home without any problems because first I'm a guy, but at the same
Uh,
time, uh,
privilege.
yeah, I'm a privilege flexing that. Just kidding. But yeah, I drink responsibly. Yeah, but most of the
And
time,
that's the moral of this podcast. We
yeah,
should all drink responsibly.
drink responsibly and don't like be Team Peta, not Gale. Fuck Gale, man.
Oh, hold on, hold on, because I really do like whatever. You know what?
Y'all be
We had
haters.
you know the conversation went full circle.
but yeah, let's not talk about that because that's the old that's old news, man.
All right. Let's sign out.
Yeah. Uh, Wait, hold on. What am I supposed to? How are we gonna end this? Go check out today's sponsor, Queer Shades of Yellow. It's basically Maria Media, you know, talking about movies and tropes and a lot of informational stuff. There's no audio here, kaya you can't hear anything. That's why I have to talk over it. But yeah, go check it out. She has a video. Just search Queer Shades of Yellow on YouTube, and yeah, follow Maria Media here. That's how I actually remembered her handle by yung media here. Kasi her last name is Media Rito.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Okay. Good.
I'm like, oh my god, that's such a cool name.
Yeah, we really came full circle, right?
Yeah.
I was born for this job. God chose me. It was so inevitable. I tried not to be an artist. I was really good at chemistry. I was really
Girl.
gonna,
Yeah.
yeah, I was gonna be a scam, but then God said no. You can't run away from your
You
destiny.
you gotta draw
I wasn't. I was
anime
not Maria.
girls.
I was not Maria Camrito. I was Maria Media Rito. There was no other point for me to try
Damn.
and deny where I was gonna go to. All right. Goodbye. Oh,
Thank you for
lovely, lovely.
watching.
Thank
We got yeah. Okay, I'm gonna end it. Bye. Thank you for
you.
watching.
Bye.
Like and subscribe.